Hey, it's Tpok. I'm back in Katawa Shoujo, and this is gonna be really late at night when this finally gets released. But anyways, when she is done, she heads right back into hammering with the same mindset. It's good that she's working off her frustration, but now it doesn't look like she's in any mood to talk anymore. About 2 hours later, she stops, having mowed through the rest of the stalls non-stop in that time. It still feels hard to approach her, and I think about how easily a conversation can die. After it took so long to be able to get her alone and speak to her directly, it almost hurts. Your translation was good. Really? First class. She punctuates with a thumbs up. For your level. There aren't many deaf people in the school, and sign language classes have been on the edge of getting cut for a while now. I'm sure you don't have many classmates, am I right? If you're only learning sign language now, your speed is going to be limited. That is why interest in it wanes, because it takes more effort than normal just to communicate. I imagine it's the same with all languages. In such a situation, conversations in sign language are less than they would inherently be to start with. I don't understand that word. Less what? Spontaneous. Misha is the only person who can really capture it. Yeah, that's definitely true. Her expression changes for a second and changes too quickly to digest, but I get the feeling that this isn't meant to be pursued. What I really want to know about is, why do you and Lily fight so much? Tensing a little and visibly frowning, Shizune tenses her fingers and overlays them repeatedly as if shuffling an invisible deck of cards. Two fights that you know of aren't worth calling so much. If you had been here last year, you could say that. I heard it was a rough year, something about how you tried to institute a badge policy. Surprised? Well, I want to hear more about that later, definitely. But you don't like Lily very much, do you? Don't dodge my question. I'm not dodging anything. She was part of the student council until last year. We didn't get along very well. She wanted to keep doing things like the old student council did. The old student council was just so ineffectual. It was stupid and insulting. I wanted to do more, and we had a fight. A lot of fights. She couldn't do anything on time. Then she said that what I wanted to do was meaningless, just extra busy work. Does this look like meaningless busy work to you? Shizune gestures around us. What's really meaningless is a student council that doesn't do anything. Weak, lazy, and boring. Especially boring. I could get excited over sitting in a room with nothing to do. That's just a waste of time. Why would I even be there? I didn't get my blood flowing. It didn't get my blood flowing. Arguing with her does that. If she could have been that motivated before, she wouldn't have to put so much dedication into being my enemy. But if she shows that much spirit, it's not a complete loss. At least it's something. It's still exciting. I see. And what about the badge thing? She laughs, covering her mouth with her hand as if to hide it. Her laughter is the only thing she regularly tries to hide. That was just a joke. Having a little fun sometimes is important too. Okay, Kenji didn't think it was a joke. The next day I end up having to hunt around a bit at the start of lunch when I find that my usual vending machine near the dormitory buildings is sold out of my usual favorite canned coffee. The detour takes longer than I expected. Things have been so hectic lately that it takes some time for me to register why something smells different as I walk through the school gardens. Back to the cafeteria. The grass has been freshly mowed. The realization makes me pause and watch for a bit. The odd group of students chatting or playing around on the grass and a couple of teachers conversing on the path ahead make for a very idyllic scene. Unfortunately, a feeling of imminent dread starts creeping up on me after a while. The feeling that I'm not alone. Hey, Hisao, is that you? Yeah, it's me. I guess I should be happy it's him and not, say, a slasher. Kenji begins talking as if he's having a conversation with someone other than me. Knew it. That haircut's unmistakable. No normal person would have a haircut like that. Unconsciously, I start touching the back of my head. Once I realize what I'm doing, I feel insulted, yet too surprised to even get indignant about it. Yeah, what are you doing here? Measuring the temperature. Winter will come soon. It will be too cold for women to go out and have their Sex in the City-style power lunches, followed by obstructive human wave formation walks in crowded urban areas. When this happens, man will be able to walk the streets unfettered once again, and reclaim what is his heritage. In order to prepare for that day, I've been eating nothing but pizzas for the past week to store energy. Okay. That's what bears do. So, there's so much we can learn from the bear. Kenji nods, emphatically agreeing with himself. Okay, so check this shit out. I was in town today buying milk. They had a new clerk, some hipster girl with a baseball cap and 2 hockey sticks on it. I call her hipster's husky baseball hat girl. I noticed the milk didn't have a price tag, so I told her to get over there and label that milk for future generations. He was in town today. He must have cut his morning classes. I want to scold him, but his verbal torrent prevents me from getting a word in. She told me not to bother her because she was sick. Sick? Sick. We live in a society here. You can't just opt out of human interaction because you're sick. Do you know how much effort it takes for me to even get up in the morning? I still do, though. I got up that morning to go down there and buy milk, not to have my vital questions just brushed aside by some hipster doofus college girl who wears a hockey baseball cap to work indoors. Anyways, I was just trying to uphold the integrity of her products. A milk carton without a price tag? When I see something like that, it just leads to questions. Important questions. It's her job to answer them, damn it. That's the problem with women. They have no sense of duty. I get diarrhea a lot, but you don't see me complaining about it. What? Okay. I soldier on and do whatever I have to do anyway, because that's what being a man is all about. Even if you have diarrhea, you keep going for the dream of a better tomorrow. You know, frequent diarrhea is bad. Maybe you should stop drinking so much milk. I can't do that. It's what allows me to maintain my awesome strength. And in this world, a man's strength is the only thing that can't be browbeaten out of him by an increasingly pussy-whipped society. That's why I walk around leaving open jars of olives everywhere, sometimes just to show that I can. Do you refrigerate after opening? What? Man, I don't know, that's not important. You have to refrigerate after opening. Even elementary school kids know that. They can't get a jar open in the first place, so it doesn't matter. Oh, that's true. I'm a genius. He self-assuredly rubs his chin, which is something I imagine scientists did, until I met Matao and was tremendously let down. Anyway, I can't go to that store again since it's clearly being compromised by bitches. Unless I disguise myself. Maybe change to a different pair of glasses. Worst disguise ever. Pfft, it's been working flawlessly all these years. I don't even need glasses to see. They're for effect. To also protect my identity. I'm like Superman. Worst disguise ever. I'm telling you, when people see my school ID, they can't even recognize me. Really? Let me see. Can't do that. I can't go around showing my ID to everyone. It was made long ago. In a different time. I had hippie hair. When I'm trying to imagine that, Kenji takes his glasses off. He squints as soon as they're off his face, which makes him look even more tired than he already does. He was right. He does look very different. Kind of like he hasn't slept in years. Not different enough for it to be a good disguise, though. You need more sleep. Nah. You look like you need it. No way, these are just the eyes of a man who's seen things. A shaman's eyes. Terrible things that you can't imagine. Like when I made a ship in a bottle and my mom sat on it. There's blood and shreds of floral print everywhere. It's what life experience is. Kenji doesn't seem very horrified, even though I think that this is actually the first thing he told me about himself that could have been legitimately traumatic. He's also talking about 30 degrees to my left, so I guess his blindness is real. I wave a hand in front of him anyway, to little effect. Man, I hope you realize I'm just joking. I laugh, pretending that I did. Somehow, looking him in the eyes is more difficult than usual. Want some trivia? People with small eyes wear big glasses. I've read that somewhere. It's because it makes your eyes look less beady. Really, I didn't know that. He puts his glasses back on, and I feel oddly relieved for a moment until I remember that I still have to deal with him, glasses or not. Well, anyway, this artist girl wanted to paint my portrait once, I think. I had to talk to her like 5 times before she started making sense. Must have been Rin, I suppose. What'd she look like? I don't know, a woman with sandals. I was hoping he'd say something more specific, like she had no arms. Rin, however, does wear sandals, but I feel like the chance of there being another free-spirited female art student wearing sandals besides her is reasonably high. I was thinking, sure, someday after I burn all documentation that I exist, it might be okay to leave a portrait behind so that people can look at it and remember the savior of mankind. They'll need it to model the statue. Then I thought about it some more and had to turn her down. It was tempting, but she wanted it for some school thing. It would be displayed. People would ask who I was, only I haven't saved society yet, so it would be pointless. And then if someone recognized me, I'd have to explain myself. That's already a chain of events I don't want to deal with. I don't want to get mixed up in some weird situations. Shit like that always happens. Sticking out is a surefire way to get put on a list. That's why I make such careful effort to blend in with people in my daily life until I can make my move. Sure. What list? There are many lists. So what are you doing here anyway? Nothing, I kind of got here by accident. Happens to me all the time. Well, hope that works out for you. I think I'm going to go back to my dorm room. I need to set my TV to record my shows. You have a TV? Yeah, you should come over sometime. We can watch the game in high definition. Before I can ask him what he's talking about, he's gone. He left like he came, with zero respect towards other people. Kind of amazing. Now that Kenji is gone, I resume looking aimlessly at the school gardens in their summer splendor. It's no use. He ruined them for me. Ouch. I don't think Kenji's that bad, honestly. I mean, he's kind of eccentric, but still. When I get back to the cafeteria, exhausted but alive, I think of eating lunch with Shizune again, but find her sitting at a table with Misha already. If it were anyone else, I would think how they were too far away for me to hear them. This is Shizune and Misha, however. If I wanted to, I could eavesdrop on their conversation easily. What a dirty thing to think about, but it's there. I don't want to, though. They must have a lot of catching up to do, even if it's only been a few days. I'm inclined to just leave them alone so that they can just do just that. However, the second they see me, they wave me over. Hi, Hee-chan. Hearing her voice again, even after such a short time apart, is jarring, and I wince. The past few days I had forgotten that communication with Shizune is almost entirely silent, and concentrating on getting it right, I had tuned out even ambient noise. Well, I'll get used to it again. I'm glad she is back. I'm done making up all my work, just in time. I won't have to miss the festival. Wahaha. If they really tried to enforce that, I would pull you out on student council business. If they really tried to enforce that, you would pull me out on student council business. That's abuse of power. No, it isn't, Hee-chan. Shi-chan says that were only 2 student council members overseeing the festival. It would be a problem, wouldn't it? Yeah, definitely. It has to be at least 3. It's for the good of everyone. It's perfectly reasonable. It's necessary. Shizune leans across the table a bit as Misha delivers her slightly disturbing militaristic justifications in a childish, bubbly, up-and-down tone. Shizune looks so happy, though, tenting her fingers and trying to hold back a laugh as Misha pouts more seriously on her behalf. If you say so. I'm actually happy right now that we can talk so easily to each other, all 3 of us. In the beginning, I thought that I might have found myself in a bad situation. I was sure that Shizune would hate getting saddled with being tour guide for the new guy. Space bar. Okay. I didn't want to be that kind of burden either. It would be awkward even if she weren't deaf and mute too. Just now she said that we would all have to be at the festival. Festival? The whole student council. I don't think the student council has any real jurisdiction over Tanabata. It's only Shizune's way of saying that she wants us to spend it together. It's nice to have friends. It's a simple thought, but one that makes me genuinely happy that we could slip into being such with so much ease. Despite the roundabout way in which she said it, I'm glad that Shizune thinks it's strongly enough to express it all. Why did you wait until we waved you over to come sit with us? I question out of nowhere. Shizune's eyes are expectant as Misha repeats her message. I feel like teasing her. You want me to sit with you that badly? We're in the student council. We should sit together as much as possible. It's logic. Anyone would jump at the chance to sit with two cute girls anyway. She pauses in case I might say something like, "You're not that cute," and instantly lock myself into an obvious no-win situation. When I don't take the bait, Shizune becomes more energetic and continues. You're abnormal. Well, I didn't expect her to end it like that. You're too quick to call other people abnormal. So arrogant. You're too quick to call other people arrogant. That makes you arrogant, and arrogance is also abnormal. You're double abnormal. This is an endless cycle. Please stop. It doesn't work that way. It's a sliding scale. Haha. Leaning on her arm, Misha closes her eyes and lets out a slow laugh, like a chuckle. Don't laugh. Don't laugh in this kind of situation. I notice that Misha signs everything I say to Shizune anyway, even though I'm signing myself. This is redundant, but it's an unconscious action for Misha. On the other hand, I can't stop. I let myself take it easy and sign less just because Misha is back. But if I let... Okay, then what was all this for? I don't want to risk losing familiarity with how to sign either. My hands are pretty slow to speak on my behalf as it is. Hee-chan, you and Shi-chan talk to each other much more now. Back and forth, it's really funny too, like an old married couple, right? Right? What a loaded comment in so many ways. Although, because it's Misha, it can't have been on purpose. That's not a compliment. Shizune doesn't react to Misha trying to pair the two of us up. Maybe she didn't see it. Sometimes it does happen though, I've noticed. I still wonder if it's really that simple, and why I care so much, but I don't want to think about it too hard. I want to leave. I keep thinking that I'm hogging Misha's time with Shizune, and that it could be that Misha cut in just now on purpose, feeling that way too. I doubt that either of them will let me leave though. In some ways, they're too nice. Anyway, Shizune, if you really want to know, I didn't want to sit here because I didn't want to intrude. I thought that because of Misha being away for supplementary lessons or whatever, you two would have a lot to talk about. And I should just leave you alone to catch up. That's why I thought I would just hang back. Don't worry, Misha, I'm not trying to monopolize Shizune. Hee-chan, it's not like that. You're so considerate, Hee-chan. Shi-chan is sorry and apologizes. I don't really think it's worth apologizing over, so don't worry about it. Hey, don't you both think that since Misha's back, we should go celebrate somehow? I think so. Hee-chan, usually having to make up work isn't something to celebrate over. No, it's a good idea. The timing is perfect, and Shizune said that the student council should have a little fun too sometimes. You probably heard that too, right, Misha? It should be fine. Actually, wait a second. Didn't you have to make up work because you were missing so many classes to begin with? So skipping out to celebrate would be kind of stupid. Maybe the timing isn't perfect, like I said, but we could go after school. Where should we go? Misha speaks Shizune's question to her aloud before she even stops to think it over, both of them completely ignoring me. Hey, listen to me, two-man short-sighted student council team. Wow, Hee-chan, you're part of this team too. Yeah, I guess I am. Yeah, you are Hee-chan. So forgetful and troublesome. I feel sorry for the girl who falls in love with you. So, where do you think we should go? I'm laughing in spite of myself, wanting to point out how Misha seems so enthusiastic now when she was the one who was most apprehensive about it just a few seconds ago. For whatever reason, I can't bring myself to do it, but this is okay too. After a short discussion on where to go, it seems like the only place all three of us know and are willing to travel to is the Shanghai. The tea house doesn't look like a bad place to celebrate, especially because I'm sure they sell cake there, and cake is the most celebratory food. Okay, guys, next time I'll continue with the Shanghai. Anyways, sorry, I can't put up school days. I'm tired. Can't record it and put it up in time, but both Katawa Shoujo and school days will be out tomorrow. I'm tired. It's late. See you next time.